Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early Wine, and boy, I'll tell you what, people are putting up their skeletons and their witches and all over town. It's like starting to get fun Halloweeny.
Everyone's getting their Halloween stuff out.
That's a cute cardigan you've got on. Is that new?
Thanks. I think I've worn it one other time, maybe on the show.
Really?
It's not new.
It's cute.
But I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I like my fall clothes.
Yeah, you got your fall colors on today.
To get my
you look pretty.
Colors. Thank you. Starting to change the makeup a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta go with the times there. But
yeah,
it's so funny because like whenever I take Jack to school, oh my gosh. Everybody, we must have hit the traffic today.
Oh, really?
I found myself going 15 different ways to get that kid to school today.
I'm telling you, some days the traffic around the schools is insane. And there are days, I don't have to do it very often, but where I have to take Carissa and Silas to one to the junior high, one to the high school in Flora. You wouldn't think Flora would have that much traffic, but at that time of the day, to get between those two schools can take me close to 10 minutes. They're not that far apart.
Crazy. Okay, so like for instance, I got, of course, it's like, oh, school bus, go this way. Like an idiot me, it's like, I don't know, because I leave and then I go up, Austin and then Vincent's and then I go get Jack. But today, for some stupid reason, I didn't turn on Austin. I went up and did on South Mill. Well, when you're stopped at South Mill and Vincent's and people, it was like, I can't turn.
Yeah.
It was like 15
You probably sat there forever.
I sat there. Then I finally got there. And then there was a school bus turning into the church right there, Christ Church. So then I went up by Hilliard's and over and around and got Jack and then forget getting across Route 50 right there at Car Corral.
Oh, yeah. No, I bet.
I was like...
Because everybody's going to the junior high. So my route to get to the junior high is to go up, leave my house, go up Worthy Street, and then I just take 50 over to the junior high. A lot of people do that. It's faster.
Yeah.
Than
now
going
they know.
through town. Yeah.
Then I picked Jack up, and then we had to cross the highway again.
Yeah.
So then we finally got, and then I'm like on East North Avenue at the stoplight by the Legion. So I'm sitting there. Of course, now it's right up 8 o'clock. Everybody's turning in. So like there's a car in front of me here. Of course, he gets the red, he's sitting there through a green light, but can't turn because everybody's turning on South Mill. And then he gets a red light. So then he goes. And then I sit there and I wait almost through the entire green light to turn left because
that light needs a green arrow on it, but only at that time of day and at 3 o'clock. Those are the only two times a day that light is really even worth having. But
my goodness, I could not. I was just like, this is crazy. And then everybody was like, this is the first time I've experienced at the elementary school. Usually but then like everybody was stopped here, and then these people were turning to drop their kids off, and the kindergarten was over here, and everybody was here, and I'm like thinking, okay, nobody's going. So I just went around everybody and went in that parking lot.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I used to do when I dropped kids off there.
I'm like, okay.
It's 2 lanes. So,
yeah, it's 2 lanes. I'm like, they're either going to go drop their kid off or they're going to go do this. I'm like, I'm parking because I'm going to walk him. I'm going to walk him up there. Yeah. And then he's like, he's big boy now. So he just was like, of course, then Nora Airbarker, Hannah was there with Nora. He's like, there's Nora, his girlfriend.
Oh, funny.
So, so then he was like, I'm going to wait for her. And then, they just took off, Tammy House right there, getting them. Oh yeah. And they just ran all the way. And I'm like, see you, buddy. But my first experience.
Traffic is crazy. Wow. And you know what drives me crazy the most about it? Is people that are out at that time of day that want to drive 40 miles an hour on the highway. Or don't if you don't have to be anywhere around that time of day, like don't go. Just don't go. Just please do us all a favor. If you can't drive the speed limit, stay off the roads. Like it's crazy.
I feel like that about it. If you can't drive 10 miles over the speed limit, don't even bother driving. I'm kind of looking forward to, because my kids they're going to be moving, and they're going to be moving, so I won't actually have to cross that road. I can just zoop, zoop, zoop. But, I'm wondering maybe when they get in their new house, it's up on the overpass just north of the hospital, east of the hospital there. They're going to be down that way. It's like, I think that might be crossing that, because then I can just pull up there and turn right, because it just seems like that cross traffic.
You still have to cross the highway, though, at some point.
Yeah, but
but you'll make a right turn, and then...
I'll make a right turn,
I see what you're saying.
Left turn,
Yeah, that'll be easier.
I think it might be a little bit easier. I'm hoping it is, because I hate
I know.
crossing that road, and there's times I'm like, okay, we need a stoplight Sometimes I think we need a stoplight.
And there's been so many accidents there at that crossroads by the hospital and the junior high. And
It's a busy area.
It's busy. So I enter the junior high that way when I'm dropping Silas off. But when I exit the junior high by myself without him, I go through town. I don't go back out on 50.
Yeah.
It's too hard to get out on that road right there.
It is. I always sometimes I feel like we need another stoplight.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I don't know what warrants that.
Yeah, I think they've done a study and they've decided no, but just certain times of the day it's kind of busy. And I've heard rumors they're putting some kind of truck stop or something in right there too.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough room right there.
Yeah, and if that happens, there's surely going to be a stoplight. I mean,
well, I don't think there'd be enough. I don't think there'd be enough room right there.
That little road by the junior high does not need any more semis on it. I mean, I feel like they're a hazard with the school buses, but
oh yeah, and you get into the school buses and
yeah,
I was just like, holy cow, Jack, we're not, you know.
Well, at least you weren't late.
Oh, we weren't late, no, because I leave the house to go pick him up at a 1:45 because you never know if he's going to be ready or not. He's got to have his hair perfect.
Oh, okay.
He does have to do that, and then but now he's like today because he likes to drive around and be like, yeah, turn down there. I'm like, Jack, we ain't got time. There are way too many people out today. He and JoJo like to drive around and see everybody's Halloween decorations.
Oh, okay.
They're very much into that. They love Cindy Garrison's. Let's go see the big skeleton. So we have to go by Cindy's house and sit there. I'm like, well, they haven't changed. That and then
there was one on Locust, a house that had some really cool decorations on Locust.
Yeah, they're like, they've got like, it's crazy. They've got a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
it was pretty neat. But he likes to drive around and he wants to go see all the decorations, that type of thing. So
yeah, don't blame him.
It's interesting.
Don't blame him.
Yep. We got to look around and see what's happening in town.
Yeah.
He thinks that's funny. Of course, it's too late. Yesterday we were on the golf cart. We had him yesterday, and there was no school. So whenever we have the kids, we picked up sticks. We went down to the burn pile. Toilet paper. Holy Moses, did we get toilet paper?
I saw pictures. You got hammered with the toilet paper. I got hammered
with the toilet paper. And I've got like 12 rolls. They wasted them all, too.
Oh, really?
Because there's like 12 full rolls.
If you know who did it, you just take it right back to their house and throw it in their trees.
Oh, I know who did it, but they live way out in the country.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be, I don't want to drive that far.
Yeah.
I might but they do have a little place in town that may have to be.
There you go.
No,
now you're thinking.
Now
they have vehicles.
Thinking.
Toilet paper, their vehicles.
That's right. Yeah, I like being toilet. I think it's beautiful in the wind. I love it. But they got tow outs, but they did, there's been a lot of, and it won't be the last time because then after Jim cleaned it up, but I said leave in the trees because I think it's pretty. And so then we left it in the trees, and then we did pick it up like off the plants and stuff like that. But Jack and JoJo they were so excited to do that because like she has a little pink Jeep, and then he has a little red Mercedes truck that we got, and Jim, like, they each have a wagon, so he ties the wagon, so they pull those around, and they think they're big stuff, and we clean up the yard. So
my kids used to have a wagon tied to their little four-wheelers that they had. They went around the yard, little pink four-wheelers and a little blue four-wheeler, and they would put the chickens in the wagon.
Oh, no.
The chickens would just ride along. We just hauled chickens all over our yard. Yeah, they had a great time.
The chickens just...
we had very calm chickens that were used to being held and cuddled and loved on. Yeah.
Interesting.
The chickens we have now are nothing like those chickens when the kids
because these chickens run.
Yeah, these chickens are runners and peckers. They just are like, anytime you put your hand out, they're just like after you. They're mean. Yeah.
They're funny.
Okay,
right.
So you have an ad.
I do have an ad and we got this from that really cool magazine that you showed on the last episode. This one it's a different one. It's have you ever heard of Valentine Ale?
Yes, only because I read this magazine cover to cover last week.
Have you?
Valentine Ale, America's largest selling ale.
Yeah, I mean, what an interesting. I mean, yeah, I've never heard of it, but like it's just I like because the man's hand with that glass. You'd think it would be a female.
Yeah,
but that's a manly hand. And it's up there. It's like 3 rings wherever you go. 1 ring for purity, a 2nd for body, a 3rd for flavor. But yeah, I thought what an interesting ad because that's a wine glass, and you got your but I've never.
But it's
heard
an
of
ale,
Valentine.
so it's a type of beer.
It's an ale, but you don't drink a beer out of a wine glass.
Well, maybe that's an ale glass.
Maybe it is. I call it what, but I loved it because I'm like, look at that. That's a man's forearm and hands, and I'm like, what an interesting.
And he's got his sleeve rolled up like he worked all day, and he's going to sit down and drink this ice cold ale.
Yeah, Valentine.
Maybe
ale.
in 47, that's how you drank ale.
Yeah. It looks like it's like New York licensed office, 295 Madison Avenue, New York, New York. Yeah. Contains 12 fluid ounces, internal revenue tax paid.
Okay, it's legal.
Yep.
It's
and then
not moonshine.
Says Valentine ale. And then like on those 3 rings there, it says purity, body, flavor. And it's got XXX brewed. Brewed certified by B.P. Ballantyne and Sons, Newark, New Jersey. So Ballantyne is the last name of the people that own the
company.
The company.
Cool. Yeah, I just love the illustrations and the.
That magazine's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That magazine is amazing.
It's a great one.
So frail. I haven't got my other ones. I told you that I ordered.
Yeah, she ordered a couple more. We're talking about, if you didn't see last week's episode, we're talking about Look magazine. It was a fantastic magazine. I went through one of them last week. If you haven't seen our previous episodes, they do rerun on Wabash Television Channel 100, which our new episodes airs on Thursdays and Fridays. But you can find all of our old episodes if you missed any on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is, by the way, with Beth and Stacey, or you can just type in Beth and Stacey and our channel will come up and you can click on it and see everything.
I'm excited to get the other magazine because I'm anxious to see how. First of all, I want to see if because yours is from 47 and it's large. And I'm anxious to see if the ones from because I got one from 60, 62 and one from 63.
If they kept that size.
I'm anxious to get them and see what they're going to be like, and the ad, because the illustrations of that, and I don't know, that magazine. I had a really good time looking through it and reading the articles. It was very.
It was good.
I'd like to see Look magazine if it's going to be like that come back.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. But anyway, I've got 2 or 3 little stories here to talk about today. And we're going to take a commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about Jimtown here in Louisville.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and Beth, I think we've done shows in the past, like every town has like certain sections that are named.
Yes, we did that early. It was one of our, in our first 10 episodes.
Yeah, we actually covered Frog Island.
Yes,
And Frog Island is over where the Dollar General...
Back area
there. White
City, named after Samuel White.
And that is off of Vincennes.
On Carr Street, a little neighborhood back there.
Sunnyside is over on Old 50 going out to the park, kind of like where Sunnyside is where the old veterinarian office used to be.
Kind of, and there's several side streets that go back north from there. That's Sunnyside.
Yeah, and then you have... Raintree.
Raintree.
We've never discussed how Raintree got its name. And
Fox Creek.
Fox Creek. Have we ever talked about Fox Creek?
No, we could though.
Well, I think that might be the thing. We'll just talk about Fox Creek and Raintree one day, and then there is what's the one
Sunset.
off of 12th Street.
Yes,
That's that little Sunset area. Those are the ones that I can think of right now. I'm not really sure about, but we need to probably figure out Fox Creek.
Well, yeah, we've covered some of those, but not all of them.
Not
but
all
yeah,
of them.
every town has different areas that had a previous name. I mean, Clay City and Maysville's kind of like that. Maysville's not there anymore, but you know, So you're going to talk about one today.
Yes,
that is Louisville.
Louisville at Jimtown, and apparently even today, like somebody be like, "Oh, I'm over in Jimtown." This is a column that Rena Lentz Thomas put together, and she's got it titled "Jimtown Explained."
Yeah, I don't know about Jimtown.
I don't either. I mean, and she's got some of these, like, she's mentioned some of these that we've got too. She's like, talks about, for instance, Clay City has an Oxtown.
Oh.
And I, being having family from Clay City, I do remember people talking about Oxtown. The Clark Addition in Clay City. Maysville and Lover's Lane. Now, I know Lover's Lane is like, like when you're going on Route 50 before you get to the intersection of Clay City, and now you would turn and go north on that road.
Yeah, that road.
That's considered Lover's Lane.
Okay.
And then Flora had Sunnyside, Frog Island, and White City. Xenia has one called Upper Town. Did you know that?
Did not know that. Didn't know even Xenia was big enough to be divided into upper and lower, but okay.
Yeah, so Upper Town may be something fun to write down and do.
Yeah.
And then in Louisville, there's two of them, Jimtown and Buttonville.
Okay, well, I know about Buttonville. I went to school in Louisville. I'm a North Clay graduate, so I knew about Buttonville, but I didn't know about Jimtown. And Jimtown is spelled J-I-M, so was it named after some guy named Jim?
Ding, ding, ding. You may be right.
Jim.
Buttonville. I love Buttonville. That's kind of a fun one. But anyway, yeah, Clark Addition, too. I remember hearing people talk about that, but I'm not sure. We'll dive into that stuff a little bit. Right now, we're going to talk about Jimtown.
Okay.
And Rena puts in here, it's not always clear how these names came about. And the story is often changed throughout the year, which, the tales. I love the way some things, some things stay verbatim, and then some people, some things change a little bit.
Yeah. It's kind of like the game of telephone.
Oh
where you whisper pss, 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 in someone's ear and then it goes down the line. And by the
is
time
that?
it gets to the final person, it's like they have no idea what you said. Well, I can tell you
why.
I'm terrible at that game. And you know why? Because I don't think I hear that well. I think I do more lip reading than what I realize I do.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot better than my husband. He really has hearing loss.
Man.
No, but he does have hearing loss. He wears hearing aids. But I just think over time, like, I have to really watch your mouth move. So if you're like, if I can't see you talk and you are whispering, I'll screw it up.
Well, I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
To half the time what anybody says. I'll be like, okay, what'd you just say? And he was like, well, I just told you. It's like, yeah, I wasn't listening.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Okay.
Okay, well, here's the story of Jimtown. Okay, it happened like this. A stranger came into Louisville on the B&O train and was a bit confused to his whereabouts. The sign on the depot building read, Louis. But when the stranger inquired of a small boy as to where he was, his instant reply was Jimtown. Jimtown, as it has been ever since the early 1900s. E.B. Gurrell, then editor of the Clay County Republican newspaper. Did you know that the Clay County Republican newspaper has been going on since the 1900s? I did not realize it'd been that. I didn't realize that. The newspaper coined the name by which the western part of Louisville is still known by many. The name presumably was for a J.C. Jim Bible, who operated a general store near the site of the depot. It was Mr. Gurrell who first called the neighborhood Jimtown. Now, where was the depot at in Louisville? Do you know? It's apparently not still standing.
No, but I mean, that is
because I don't even understand, because, like, where's the train? I mean,
so the tracks were coming.
The tracks
were coming north. They ran north and south. They were coming north from Flora. You know, that old set of tracks that came through. that's no longer there that I think they ought to turn into a walking path between Louisville and Flora.
Yeah.
That goes through, but it's all been already individually sold
So
to
that
like
would have
farmers.
been the train line, the B&O
That would
train
have been
that
the
they're
line.
talking about
So
now.
where exactly does that come in to Louisville at?
Yeah.
Back there behind Bill Bailey's house by the park.
By the park, is that where it
That's
is?
yeah, it comes behind the animal shelter behind Bailey's
Okay.
up there. And then
Makes its way
it,
to Effingham.
yeah, I think it did. But
Yeah.
where was the depot? I'm not a Louisville expert. I mean, there's a few people I could call.
Because I would like to know what it looked like. You know.
Ty, you might Google that, just see if there's anything online about where the former depot stood
Yeah,
at
the
in Louisville.
Louisville
And I know
Depot.
there are viewers that are watching right now. They're like, it was right there. It was like, they know. They're watching and they know.
Please
but
let us know, because I'm
Uh-huh.
fascinated by, because I think we've touched on the Louisville Depot before, but there's not a building about it. If you get that figured out there, Ty. In 1931, a reporter with the Republican called on Uncle Jim Bible, as he was known, and found him enjoying his 82nd birthday and in good health. He told the reporter that he well remembered the birth of Jimtown. In 1902, he was running a sawmill just north of the railroad tracks, and the only other establishment in the neighborhood was a small brick plant owned by the best little Irishman who ever lived, John McGinnis.
Okay.
So we had a...
That's cool. So there was an Irishman living in Louisville.
Are you taking notes?
No.
Okay. Well, you'll probably remember.
Uh-huh.
You're better remember.
John McGinnis.
John McGinnis, an Irishman. We want to find out what happened to him.
Yeah.
You find anything, Ty, yet? I'm going to keep going.
It's giving me Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. It's giving you Louisville. Jim Bible was then living 2 miles north of Louisville and driving back and forth to the sawmill in a buggy. In 1903, he bought a half interest in the brick plant, and because they were about out of dirt with which to make the bricks, he traded 20 acres of river bottom land for 2 acres of land there in Jimtown. Then, after trying for some time to rent a house in Louisville and failing, he built a house on the 2 acres for his family. This was Jimtown's first dwelling. So it all started the little Irishman, right? Jim Bible. So Jimtown is named after Jim Bible. I want to meet this little Irishman.
Yeah, he was McGinnis.
John McGinnis was the Irishman, but Jimtown is named after Jim
Bible.
Bible,
Okay.
who then bought into this brick plant and couldn't find anywhere to live, so he just built his own house.
Okay.
In 1904, a traveling salesman or drummer persuaded him to construct a store.
Hang on a second. Traveling salesman or drummer?
Is that like da, da, da.
How much? I mean, he just, I don't know.
A traveling salesman or drummer.
Okay.
I don't know. Was that a thing?
I don't know. Like, did they call traveling salesmen drummer?
I don't
Drummers?
know. I don't know.
Or he was also a drummer? I'm still, okay. Just asking.
Hey,
Keep
we
going.
need to know. We need to know these things. Inquiring minds.
Yeah.
The traveling salesman or drummer persuaded him to construct a store building, and he furnished Jim a $300 stock of general merchandise.
Oh, that worked out good for the salesman.
Exactly. This was Jimtown's first store.
Wow. Good.
Soon after, Mr. Bible built what was known as the Jimtown Road so his customers could reach his store more easily. I love this. Jim C. Bible was born in 1850 and died in 1936 at the age of 86. His wife, Ella, died in 1946 at the age of 80, and both are buried in the Orchard Hill Cemetery on the north edge of Louisville. That is the story of Jimtown.
Okay.
I found a 1928 railroad
Oh,
Okay.
you did?
So
oh, my goodness.
This is a 1928 railroad map.
Okay, you got good eyes. You keep reading.
Okay, so he's going to zoom in on Louisville. So it looks like the B&O Railroad did go right up through where I said it did, but then when it gets to Louisville, it kind of takes a left there. It's starting to veer off and over towards Iola. So, you know, and it talks about Jimtown being on the west side of town. I wonder if the depot was kind of on the west side of 45, kind of where, like the big grain bins are and stuff. I don't know.
So is the railroad is the what's my eyes are bad. What's the red? Huh?
That's a different railroad. We're looking at the yellow line that goes straight up from Florida to Louisville.
Okay.
That's the B&O Railroad, the Baltimore, Ohio Railroad.
Yeah, I see that now, I think.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Very cool. Thank you, Ty.
That is pretty neat.
Okay. So does it say in that article where Jimtown sits in comparison to what streets are there now?
No.
No,
but I wonder if
that's kind of an important part.
It is an important town. Yeah, that's why I was looking back here.
So she doesn't say what neighborhood is currently.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, see, he was running a sawmill just north of the railroad tracks. So I would assuming it would be north of the railroad tracks. Right? I don't know. We'll have to ask somebody.
Yeah, because the tracks were running north and south.
We're pondering.
Yeah. How did that work exactly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll have to investigate that a little further and see if we can figure out where it's set.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, you just never know about that type of thing. But yeah, because like I said, it's hard, like it's different. Like if the tracks run east and west, it's like north or south of the tracks. But you're literally dealing with east and west of the tracks.
It did kind of curve a little bit, so it's possible, but still, yeah.
Very interesting.
Anyway,
but we are going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back. I got a couple other stories to talk about, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and thank goodness we have phones because we're messaging Miss Nancy Byers.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want to have one of her great-grandchildren with her right now, she'll
fill us in on where
she'll fill us
Jimtown.
in because Nancy knows everything about Louisville.
Yes.
Okay. Then Rena was had come across an interesting family photo, and Ty, it's the family photo where the lady's sitting down on the left with the table in front of him. So anyways, she comes across this photo and she doesn't know. She just publishes it.
Okay.
And Rena puts it out there and says, anybody know anything about this family photo?
Okay.
Okay. And so she just publishes this in the paper. Well, come to find out, it's the family of Dorothea Martin. Dorothea Martin was married to Dr. Harold Martin, the dentist that was in Flora.
Okay.
So this comes down to Dorothea Martin's family. You can just leave this up there while I read this, because I'm going to talk about each one of them. I'd love to know where it was taken. Family photo identified. She received 2 calls on the subject, and one was from Dr. Harold Martin's wife, Dorothea. She informed her that this was her family's photo. Beginning on the far left is Evelina. I love that name.
I love
Evelina.
that. Evelina.
Yeah, and they called her Eva. EVA. Evelina. I don't know how you'd say it. EVALINA. Either way, I love it. And
I love it.
She was born in 1869 and lived to be into 1958. Wife of Andrew James Goen, who lived 1862 to 1938, who is second from the left. Okay. So you got the wife is sitting down.
He's got his arm by her.
He's got his arm by her.
Okay, and that's probably their son.
Well, I'm going to go on.
Okay.
They lived in Xenia, where Andrew was a blacksmith. According to the Clay County wills and probate records from the Clay County Genealogical Society Library, Andrew J. Gohan Sr., who died in 1938, left a last will and testament dated June 22nd, 1935. A record of this will should be available at the Clay County Courthouse in probate records. Third from the left is their youngest son, Ronald T., born about 1907. So, yes, the little boy right there. Okay. Next is daughter Lucretia Gohan Nichols, who played the piano in the background. I was told she played by ear, but there is sheet music on the piano. So you can see, so that's her in the white shirt. And she's sitting that's her piano right behind it, which is so cool. I would love to see what that plate looks like above her head. Just saying.
Yeah.
The titles of the music we can read are When the Dew is on the Rose, One Wonderful Night, and Just Close Your Eyes, Big Moon. This photo was taken in 1897. According to the small calendar on the wall in the left part of the photo.
Hang on a second.
Man, Rena.
You said that boy that was in that picture was born in 1907. And then you just said this picture was taken in 1897.
Is that what she just said?
Yep.
This photo was taken in 1897.
Okay, go back to the year Ronald was born.
Yeah, third from the left is their youngest son, Ronald T., born about 1907.
Okay, so that doesn't math up.
That doesn't math up because the photo was taken in 1897.
And this boy looks like he's probably at least 10 years old. So I'm going to go
according
with
to the small,
this.
Somebody who could read the calendar on the wall.
I don't know, but I'm going to go with this picture was taken around 1917, 1918.
Well, yeah, because look how the men are dressed.
And also the woman in the white shirt. It's very time appropriate for that period. I don't believe this was taken in 1897.
No, I don't think this picture was taken in 1897. The calendar on the wall, if it's anything like my house, has probably been left there forever. Yeah.
They probably never dreamed like 100 years from now people would be like looking at the calendar on their wall.
No. I wouldn't think so.
Or maybe 1897 was a special date and they left it there.
Oh, boy, you're always thinking, aren't you? Always thinking.
Just call me Nancy Drew.
I will call you Nancy Drew.
Okay. Keep going.
Fifth from the left is another daughter, Margaret Gohan, who married Rudy Minton, who was from the Murfreesboro area. He was a former president of the National Education Association. So then we've got the little girl is next. That's the little girl, Margaret, is another sister.
Okay.
Is the daughter of the people on the left. Okay. Standing third from the right is the oldest son of Eva and Andrew J. Gohan, Andrew Jr. So Andrew Jr. is standing.
Okay.
Back there. Okay. Merrill Lovelace Goen, second from right, son of Eva and Andrew Sr., and father of Dorothea Martin.
Oh, that was her dad. Okay.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, second from the right. Yeah, so that's Dorothea's dad right there.
Standing up there with the suit and tie.
His name is Merrill. Merrill Lovelace Goen, second from the right, son of Eva and Andrew Sr., the father of Dorothea Martin and Edith Murray.
Okay.
Merrill began working at a very early age. He was in charge of stoking the fire at the local general store in Xenia, making it warm for the expected customers when the store opened.
Okay, that was what did he do the rest of the day? Like, he just stoked it throughout the day? He
Apparently,
just
that's
attended
what
the
he said he
fire all
did.
day? Did that pay well? I don't know.
Have you ever heard of anybody stoking a fire in a general store? That was your job?
No.
Your job is to keep the heat on. Huh.
Okay. He's
Wow.
original, like, HVAC guy from way back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The elderly gentleman at the far right is John W. Goen, who lived from 1822 to 1917. He served in 2 wars, including
Wow.
the Civil War, where he fought in the Battle of Shiloh.
Oh, my goodness. So that was his dad, the dad's dad, as the grandpa.
That's the grandpa sitting
So
down
Eva's
there.
husband's dad,
Yes.
Civil War veteran and a veteran of another war. Wow.
His wife was Liza Goen. She was born in 1826 and lived to 1899. As mentioned last week, he is wearing what appears to be here we go. Did we mention the GAR?
Yeah.
The Grand Army of the Republic.
Grand Army of the Republic. That was mentioned on our last show. We were like, what's GAR?
What's the GAR?
Grand Army of the Republic. There we go.
There we go. Grand Army of the Republic medal from the Civil War. You can kind of see it on
Okay.
his jacket there. And then she puts, thanks to Dorothea Martin and Rob Goen for identifying the sharing of the information about the photo. How neat is that?
That's awesome. I love old pictures, but what I love is when people can identify what's in them, because most of them don't have any notes and everyone's dead and forgotten. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing, you guys, because we come across so many family photos and we don't know who they are. And I love the way that Dorothea labeled of course, Dorothea's passed now, but I love the way that she has labeled everything, like when they were born and where they. That is
so
amazing.
Note to self: if you have family photos, write on the back of them in a pencil, not heavy ink because it'll bleed through. But even if you're not a scrapbooker, at least put the names and dates.
Right.
Like, it would mean so much to somebody 100 years from now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it makes you want to just go home and write on the back of all your.
I did for a long time.
How are we going to do it on these?
Well, you got to print them.
Yeah, because that does kind of make me a little bit nervous.
You don't have to print all of them, but at least print some of your pictures out and put them in a safe place.
Yeah. This next story is quite big, so I'm gonna go ahead and start on it.
Okay.
Now, this is also a story about a Swedish family that migrated to There's from Switzerland, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Switzerland to Flora. And it always just amazes me how many people just
do that, and then they get here, they're like, yeah.
Well, this isn't the Alps. So this family is called the Mojoinier. I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm going to let you...
Mojonnier.
Yeah.
I've heard that name. There's still one or two around.
Yeah, is that... How do you...
Mojoinier, I think.
Mojoinier? Okay, so that's who we're talking about now. Now, and to me, like it says here in the article, it is Mojoinier. I don't really know my Swedish, my Switzerland. I don't know what
you don't know
names
that
are
yeah
back
I don't
then,
either.
but like Mojoinier sounds French. And then on here it said, but it actually is a French name, and his ancestors came from Canton Vaud in Switzerland, which is a French-speaking area in the southwest corner of the country. So I guess it's just like because you like have French Canadians and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like the French probably settled a little bit everywhere.
Yeah.
Mojoinier is a French name, but they were from Switzerland, just French speaking in that area. Actually, their language is said to be a cross between the language of Helvetii and the Latin spoken by the Romans. The Helvetii race belonged to the same racial stock as the Celts of Western Europe and were said to be tall and blue-eyed. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, it's just, the world is a melting pot. People say that the United States, the world is a total melting pot. Much of the Mr. Majoiner's information relayed to Rena on this family centered around his great-grandfather, Frederick Samuel Majoiner, born in Mézeries, Canton, Vaud, Switzerland, on January 9th, 1812.
Wow.
He immigrated to America in 1850 in a party of 10, which included his wife and 7 children.
Wow.
Goodness.
That wasn't cheap, I bet.
I can't even fathom it. The revolution in 1848 in many parts of Europe had brought much upheaval in Switzerland, and this, along with their desire for religious freedom, prompted plans to immigrate to America, where greater opportunities were said to be abound. Cara Majoiner has in his possession a copy of the diary kept by his great-grandfather, Frederick Samuel Majoiner, this being the only original writing by the Frederick who now known to exist.
Oh, that's awesome. I love old diaries. What a treasure.
You know
so
what?
The guy kept a diary.
He's literally traveling with his wife and 7 children from Switzerland by boat to the States to be free for religious freedom. And the one thing he has on his possession is his father's diary.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
The diary reveals many facets of his character, including his appreciation of the friends left behind and the deep concern for his family.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? Man, I wonder where that diary's at now. Surely it got handed down.
I would hope.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take a commercial break because then I want to go ahead and I want to finish because it's quite a story. It talks a little bit about their journey here.
Okay.
So we'll take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Jimmy ordered lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, Jimmy ordered guns too.
Young Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we're talking about the Majoiner family who migrated from Switzerland to the States. Yeah, this is just absolutely crazy. And the only thing that Frederick Samuel Majoiner, Cara Majoiner, the only possession that he brought with him on this journey was his great-grandfather, Frederick Samuel Majoiner's diary. He relates to how they started from Auburn, Canton, Vaud on February 14th, 1850, on their way to Paris.
Okay.
And eventually to Le Havre, where they would board the ship which would bring them to America. So you don't just jump on a boat from Switzerland. So they have connecting flights.
Yeah. They had to go to France first. Okay.
Frederick wrote about how the ship was searched before departure to detect any stowaways. That's interesting. Here are a few of the excerpts from the diary as recorded by Frederick over 150 years ago.
Okay.
This is going to be neat.
And he's the one on the boat, or this is his great-grandfather?
This is the great-grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, because it says that the, where'd I go back? Let's go back up here. Carol Majoiner has in his possession a copy of the diary kept by his great-grandfather, Frederick Samuel Majoiner.
But Frederick is the one on the boat.
Frederick is the one on
Carol
the boat.
is the local
Carol
guy.
is the local guy.
That she was talking to. Okay, gotcha.
Frederick is the one on the boat.
So, yes, it did get passed down and kept in the family because Carol had it.
That's awesome.
Yes, okay. So this is his diary entries from the boat.
Yeah, from the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. We left Havar at 7:30 upon the morning of February 24th. The day was a beautiful one. All on board seemed happy and in good spirits as they bid adieu to European soil. Upon my last glance towards the wharf, I caught sight of a signboard upon a restaurant that contained the coat of arms of Kent-David in Switzerland, with the legend "Liberty and Country" and the name of the keeper. The thought came to me that the legend upon the coat of arms was no longer true. Liberty used to be the people's birthright, but this is no longer true for followers of Christ. These people are now arrested and led to trial, all for no other reason than they pray. Canton David, we are leaving you without regrets.
Oh, my gosh, that gives me chills. Good for them.
Wow.
They are being persecuted as Christians, and they left.
And they did leave. February 28th, 1950. Beautiful day. The ship is rocking less than yesterday. Seasickness is decreasing a little. We are all happy to be on our way. We are especially happy to have started so early in the year. There are only 105 passengers. If we had sailed 2 months later, there would have been at least 370 passengers.
Oh, wow.
The passengers originated in several different countries. The principal nationalities, thank you, represented are German, Alsatians, Austrians, and Swiss from several different cantons, including Valois, Bern, Geneva, Neuchâtel, Freiburg, and Vaud. We are all very happy. We paid the cook 7 écus and 5 francs for cooking our meals. We are the largest family on the ship. Our space is well lighted and ventilated.
Good.
March 2nd, strong winds. The entire steerage is disinfected with the fumes from tar. Waves are increasing and the ship is rocking gently. All baggage that is not securely fastened slides about pell-mell.
Oh, my.
So
this time they've been on their journey for almost a month.
Yes.
And I would think the seas would be a little rough in the middle of the winter like that, but okay.
March 7th, our little Samuel is very sick. He is taking the measles.
Now the ship has measles on it.
Oh, that's not cool.
So somebody got on infected with measles.
Yeah.
The whole ship could die.
March 11th, strong winds today, and we are making good headway. Our baby has fully recovered from the measles.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Well, yeah, they're leaving. They're Jesus freaks. So
yeah.
We're going to be healing that baby.
Yeah.
March 17th, we are feeling the heat today. We are traveling towards the equator. March 19th, it is very warm, and we have put on our summer clothing. We see many yellow plants floating in the water. They are full of little seeds like raisins, and we were told that they are called tropical grapes. March 28th, we have a sick man. It is a young Frenchman who became intoxicated with wine and brandy and is reported to be dying.
Oh, my.
March 31st, our young Frenchman died this morning.
Oh, my God.
At 8 o'clock. By about 9, he was ready to be thrown overboard. He was sewed up in canvas and brought out upon deck. He was placed upon a board mounted upon a light scaffold, and a sack of rocks was tied to his feet. I read 1 Corinthians 12 through 27. It was a solemn occasion.
Well, I'd say so. But I'm confused.
I forgot that's what they did,
That's
though, if you died.
a burial at sea is what that is.
But I hope that they made sure you were really dead.
What if he was just passed out from the wine too late?
Too late, now
You're gone, man. You're dead.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
he must have had some other condition.
Yeah, because, oh boy. April 2nd, we will soon enter the Gulf of Mexico. April 9th, we are entering the Gulf of Mexico. It is most beautiful. April 10th, I am making a copy of this diary in order to mail it as soon as I reach port. Thank God we are all well. Our dear little Samuel was sick for 3 weeks and was very near death. He is still very thin, but is completely cured. He eats and sleeps well. April 13th, we reached New Orleans last midnight. The shores of the Mississippi are very beautiful. It is a fertile country, and it gave us much pleasure to see the cattle and other domestic animals. April 15th, the baggage was marked and immediately transferred to the steamboat which left for St. Louis in the evening. The boat is named the Alec Scott. April 22nd, we reached St. Louis at 3 in the afternoon.
I wonder how they picked St. Louis. Like, they're coming to a whole new country. How do you pick which city?
I don't know. You'd think I would have stayed. I love New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know.
But who knows?
It's hot there.
The group traveled by wagons to Highland, Illinois, in Madison County, where a settlement of Swiss immigrants had settled.
That's why.
There they built a log house in which they lived for 10 years. Do you ever notice how we ask questions and then our stories tell us the answer?
Yeah, that's why.
That figures.
Which we really research all this before we get on the show, but then but there's just so much of it jumbled in our head, and then we sit down and we start talking about it, and we're like, oh, yeah.
Because I'll skim through something, but I like to be kind of surprised myself in some of the stories. They built a log house in which they lived for 10 years. They cultivated the land and raised cattle. A portion of the Swiss immigrants lived in a small settlement about 6 miles from Highland called Sebastopol, Sebastopol. The group had split over religious differences. Space doesn't permit me to convey any more of the Montjournier history here, but a special thanks is extended to Mr. and Mrs. Carol Montjournier for this information. Carol is well known in this county, having lived and worked here for many years. Born in 1910 in Madison County, Carol has lived a very rich and rewarding life, making many friends along the way. Let's show a couple pictures. First, let's show the picture of the people in front of the house, with just the man and the woman. Not that one. Let's go to the next one. Yep, that one right there. This is the home in Patoka. This is Philip Jules Montjournier and his wife Daisy Esther in Patoka in 1910. Apparently, there's an infant in this picture. That's Carol Montjournier, but I'm having a hard time seeing. I think it might be right here, just that little bitty. You see, closer to the dad. You see where the door is at to the left.
Yeah, I see it.
See the little girl right there. That is Carol Montjournier, who actually ended up making their way to Clay County.
Okay.
So that's the little girl living in Patoka.
I think Carol is a man's name.
Carol's a girl's name.
No, but when it's spelled like that with 2 L's, it's a man.
You think it is?
And he carried on his father's name.
Okay. You pick. Okay. Well, I guess you're right. So 2 R's is a
2 R's and 2
But
L's.
it looks like it's a. It looks like he's wearing a dress. But did little boys wear dresses?
Sometimes. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Let me just.
Well, because this came from Mrs. Carol Montjournier for this information. Carol is well known to this.
It says Mrs.?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it's a woman.
I think it's a little girl.
So she married a Montjournier. Or she never got married.
She may have never, yeah. Or maybe she just was one of them women of today and just kept her own name.
Maybe.
Maybe, because, yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Oh, nope. I need to back up. Especially Mr. and Mrs. Carol Majoynier. No, I think you might be right.
Uh-huh.
But I think that they did put dresses on little boys back in the day, didn't they? I don't know. All right, well, let's go up to the top and see if he's wearing a dress on the next family reunion.
He's buried at Patoka.
In Patoka, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's show the other Majoynier reunion.
He was male.
He was male.
He was the son of Philip Julius Majoynier and Daisy Esther Malin.
Yeah.
He was married to Lola May Hammond in Centralia in 1936.
Awesome.
So Lola May was his wife.
And then this is a family. This is the Majoynier reunion. This photo was taken in 1923 at the Majoynier family home in How would you say that? Have you ever heard of that name? Sebastopol? Sebastopol?
I wonder if it's Sebastopoli. Like sometimes if it's Greek, they say it like like Opoli. I don't know.
The house is still occupied by family members and is one of the few remaining old homes in that area. The original soft bricks were covered with stucco to keep them from crumbling. But yeah, so then they had a family reunion, and this is, I don't know. Read that underneath there and see what you think how you say that name. You see it?
Sebastopol. I don't know. That's a difficult one.
That's a very difficult name.
So Carol and Lola May only had one child. Well, they might have one that's still living. They had a child that died in 1938.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Carol.
And then they had another son later named Timothy. Still be living.
Now, where is Mr. and Mrs. Carol? Are they buried here in Clay County?
Nope, in Patoka.
They're all in Patoka, huh?
Yep.
Very interesting.
Yep. Very neat family history.
That is cool.
I'm hoping that the son, Timothy, has the diary.
Oh, gosh. Wouldn't that be great?
Yes. I should just keep going down the line.
We need that. We need that diary to maintain, to stay. All right.
Absolutely.
That's it. Here, we're going to end with our funny. This is a good one. Okay, you can take that picture off, Ty. We're done. We're done with the Majoynier family. What a fun. That was a good story. I love that diary.
Me too.
I love the way Dorothea Martin put in all that stuff, and I love diaries. I wish I kept a diary, but I never did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we end our show with Jack Handy. This is important. When you're going up the stairs and you take a step, kick the other leg up high behind you to keep people from following too close.
Well, that's true. Sometimes if you're on a crowded staircase, people can really be like right up behind you, It's like, give me some breathing room.
Well, that's it for the show. We're done. We're out of time.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.